As she was saying, I'm Tanya. I just want to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. Okay. I'm not entirely sure why I am here today. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a developer. I never really wanted to work in the tech industry. I'm actually just a victim of a car accident with a wild imagination and an obsession to be super bionic. So I guess that gets me in the room. These images that you see here are actually pinhole photography. I'm interested in all forms of photography, and this was some self-portraiture. In my car accident, I had fractured my cheekbone, ruptured my eye. I'm wearing a prosthetic eye, fractured some vertebrae. I was found by a rancher. He saved my life, same with paramedics, a helicopter, and by chance, I was saved. That out-of-body experience shook me to my core. So another reason why I'm here today is there was a move that my parents made and decided to have me babysat by the public library after grade school. So I became very obsessed with fantasy, the fantasy genre. And then as I grew older, I got very curious about science fiction and read Ray Bradbury, William Gibson, Philip K. Dick. Anyway, it wasn't too much of a far cry to be in the hospital bed, being with a morphine drip, journal writing. I started thinking about what could I do with my eye? Could I have a bionic eye? What you see right here is actually my journal writing from that bed. I want to feel again in my face. I have faith. I want to see again with a bionic eye. So in my healing process, I started writing. I was writing, and I started a blog. And in that blog, I became part of a larger community of one-eyeds, people who are fascinated by eye patches, loss, and transformation. So one of the things about putting an idea out there is your real community, the people within your life, and also the virtual. So I had the virtual on the blog, and then my arts community threw a benefit for me, and that's how I was able to have my first prosthetic eye. So the connectivity. One of the major things I think about new technology is that it's meaningful. And I think when I was first working on my idea, which is implanting my prosthesis with a small video camera, that it really touched other one-eyeds, of course. And it was because of them and the amount of feedback I got that I decided to continue along with my path. Some of the one-eyeds that wrote to me had been vets who'd lost their eye, had been parents whose child lost their eye from cancer. So when I went to go get my prosthesis done, I found out that my ocularist, William Dance, was a descendant of Ludwig Müller-Uri, who happened to be the original, he developed the first glass human eye in Lauscha, Germany. So I was very excited to, I'll go back. Let's see. I'm trying to play this video. Oh, well, I will explain the video then. In the process of developing a prosthetic eye, first, he implants the shell of the eye with a liquid algae that hardens. And in the same way dentists use to make teeth, he makes an acrylic shell. Then he takes a picture of the other eye and paints it on. And there are little red lines. Actually, maybe we can see that coming up. Here we go. There are little red lines that are the veins that he actually separates with thread. So this is definitely a craft now we are looking into, I'm actually starting to do 3D printing with my prosthetic eye. And what I wanted to show you here are, these are 5 of my eyes. This morning I was trying to decide which eye I was going to wear. I decided to go with the normal eye. And so that's the one on the left-hand side up here. And then below that is a sort of bling, like an eye with bling, and there's some gold. The middle one is actually the hollowed out prosthesis that we're going to be using to implant the camera. So anyway, I just wanted to show you the assortment. And I have them here with me today if anybody wants to see them. As I was leaving the office one day, I noticed this image on his door in the ocular's office. And I used to study archaeology, hieroglyphs, Mesoamerica, Egypt. So I became very interested in this particular image. It's the Eye of Horus. And as many deities in the Egyptian and Greek, Horus came from a very dysfunctional family, and Set and Horus, who were brothers, ended up having a very big fight, and Set destroyed Horus's eye. It was gouged. As Horus was trying to find a way to heal, another god, Thoth, came with a team of other gods, a god of science, a god of healing, and with that team, they were able to restore his eye. And so this is why I've chosen that as my symbol, because it means renewal and restoration. I wanted to speak briefly about this concept of the new normal. Normal has been sort of an issue for me right after I lost my eye, because I felt very abnormal. And now with the development of technology, there are really fascinating things that people who have disabilities can actually do now. Have several assortments of pairs of legs. I have, an assortment of eyes. So I wanted to attribute the new normal as a way for people to be able to have access to technology to redefine themselves. Wanted to show you quickly the tech specifications of my camera, and then also my bionic wish list, which would be sensors that respond to blinking. Dilating pupil would be fantastic because it's fixed. So I was invited to show a short video of my project at TEDx in San Francisco, and I decided that was a great opportunity to launch a Kickstarter campaign. And through that, I got a lot of exposure, and I raised some minimal funds and found some engineers to help me prototype. Unfortunately, the technology that they had available was too big for my prosthesis. So I am still looking for partners and people who can help. If anybody knows anybody, please send them to me. Now, in my research of learning about art and technology and what technology is doing to the body, I started coming up with different projects. I call them kittens. I like to call them kittens because kittens are cuddly and you want to take care of them. So that's how I feel about my projects. I recently started, I'm a new affiliate artist researcher at Open Lab, which is at UC Santa Cruz, and it's an interdisciplinary lab between science, technology, and art. And through Open Lab, I've been partnered up with an augmented reality designer, and we are starting to develop interactive storytelling. There is another engineer that I've been speaking to regularly, and I'm starting to partner with him and this project called Meet iPal. It's actually, you can go to their website, and they have an Indiegogo campaign right now. It's eye tracking. And so I'm going to be kind of a beta tester, and I'll probably use it for some of my eccentric art projects. And the other thing is, being part of the interface session, I wanted to alter my part of this session, and I call it In Her Face, meaning, again, I'm going to be implanting a camera, so it's something that I wanted it to be personal as well. And again, I think that we need to remember that new technology should be accessible. I think with DIY, do it yourself, it should be holistic, expressive, unique. The other thing about augmentation, as well as wearable cameras, is that it can be used as a means of empathy, to be in another person's skin, to see what they're seeing. So I continue to make video pieces, and this one that you're seeing right here, Kalia was marked, was a very dear friend of mine who was also in a car accident. And so we ended up doing a piece where she told her story, and I did a documentation of her dance movement. The other thing that I find interesting about wearable technology or cinema verite is the unlikely storytellers. So, and I recently discovered Homeless GoPro. So this organization is working with homeless and having the homeless wear the GoPro and to tell their stories. The other thing about technology, I'm from San Francisco. There is some extreme effects happening locally, and I think it's really important to keep this in mind in terms of the politics of the industry. The tech industry has not been known to be a very great philanthropist, or being, giving back. And so I just wanted to hope everybody takes that home with them, too. In any case, I'm very excited to have presented to you, and that concludes my presentation.
Thank you so much.